to telling him or her, no, I'm not going to open the door. If you cannot communicate to me through this door, then we're not going to communicate, because sadly, sometimes people feel bad, like, oh, well, I don't want them to think I'm a bad person, so I'm going to open the door, right? And then unfortunately open the door and you don't hear from them no more. And I wasn't trying to rhyme, but the point that I'm making is you don't know him. So you don't owe him any loyalty. Take your emotions out of it, even though I get where you're going, because let's keep it a buck. It is dangerous sometimes to tell, people no, especially when you get in the vibes like, okay, he ain't really hearing me. But the next time he comes up to you, he needs to hear you say, no, I'm not interested. Have a nice day. You don't owe him anything else. Yeah, you don't owe him anything else. You don't owe him your itinerary, which, in the future I might. You don't owe him nothing else. Now I'm going to say this. Okay, if that don't work, because I've been stalked before, okay? Daddy, he and that stopped. And that stopped. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to bring in other people and let them know, hey, sucker, if you keep on, I'm going to have somebody, talk to you a little bit more forcefully, if you will. Of course, you don't want to be too demonstrative, but sometimes you got to bring in a little muscle.
See, that's normally me, but I've been trying to be peaceful, be in my feminine energy. He just trying to bring it out of me.
Maybe that's why he senses that feminine energy, like, okay, but you should still be feminine. Being forceful with a no does not mean you're not feminine. Right. You don't want to match his energy, because if he is on that, then he's going to take it, several notches above you. So keep it feminine, but keep it firm.
Okay.
That makes any sense.
Okay. I don't know you. I don't owe you.
There you go. I don't know you, and that's here. I don't know you, and that's here. I don't know you. I don't owe you.
Okay.
Because like Donovan said, he's hearing maybe some. It's not a no. It's not a yes yet, but it could be.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to ask me while you're up here?
No, not at the moment, but I will call back because I have a lot going on sometimes.
Come see us anytime.
Okay, thank you so much, Demetra Kaye.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oops, that was on. So, all right, I'm back in the comments section. I want to see what you guys got to say. And then just a couple of minutes, I'm going to read to you guys the anonymous email that I received. And I think you all will find it very interesting. So who else came on here? I said hello to everybody in the comment section, but I want to say it verbally. Doe, how you doing? Arneba, what's going on? Queen Tracy, how are you doing? Tia, what's going on? Only Pamela's way. Black America, I saw your comments. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I mean, there's a thing now where people can track your car, or track you somehow, putting something in your bag or whatever. Sometimes people just don't know that they're being tracked, and sadly, it's a thing. But usually, Apple will let you know that, hey, you're in a car or something that is tracking you, so you can be aware of that, because it's a safety issue. All right, let's see here. So I see you guys said something about air tags and Ring cameras and stuff like that, which is kind of weird that people are moving kind of slimy with Ring cams everywhere now. You see it all on there. Okay, so let me skip down because I saw all those. Oh, gee, Patrice, how you doing, bro? Good, what's going on with you? Your average logical thinker, how are you? Yes, love is in the air for somebody. Donovan, is love in the air for you?
Yeah, your sister doesn't seem to be picking up my calls. I don't know what it is. I mean,
she called you last week, sucker. You didn't answer.
I know, my poor Belle. No, it was funny. I was coming out of the mall area, and I see all these people coming out with the flowers, and the Mexicans are on the side of the roads doing the little gift baskets and things like that, and just people are just stopping everywhere. And I'm just saying, wow, that's really, really wonderful. But then in about a week or two, they'll be arguing about the rent and due. You ain't got your half, nigga. Where you at? Da 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 da. So again, it's to be in love is it's a beautiful thing, when you can do it. And there's an old saying: it is better to have loved than to have lost, than to never have loved at all.
Yes, indeed. Marjorie says, Demetra, what if he is one of those guys who hates rejections? I mean, he could be, but I think if she tries it the other way with a firm no, a firm no doesn't mean you're being mean. It just no. As they always say, no is a full sentence. No, I'm baking some cookies. No, next week and this, that, and the other. I'll see you. No, I'm not interested. Have a great day. And don't say anything else. And Tracy, you say go and check now for that Apple tracker because he sees this and the whole record will disappear. He will disable and not show up in the network. Hurry up, go. Yeah, I mean, there's no telling. People do that kind of stuff. Roots Tracker, how you doing? It says greetings and happy Akoma Day, Demetra. Okay. It says please invite the Edith with the Black Love School Akoma House Initiative. I can contact you to make it happen. I think I signed up for their stuff when you told us like a couple of months ago. But okay. JBWR says Miss Brittany, does Donovan look familiar? Donovan, is it you? Oh, yeah, that background is very nice. Love connection, man. That's bringing back some memories there. And you know what, Black America, you are crazy. But you know what? Something tells me you're telling the truth. He says you'll wait for the 5-letter kitty cat forever. Forever, ever, and ever?
What, spend 30 years on your sister? All I needed to do is this one time, slip up.
Keep hope alive, brother.
And I do. Persistence, just like we just told Brittany. If we're gonna wait it out, we're just waiting that one time.
Right, end up turning yourself into a stalker. How you doing? Says all Miss Lady has to do is start calling him 12 times a day. He'll disappear. To some, it's a game. If it was meant to be, it will be without the extra. Yeah, but then that might turn a sadistic fool on, and we don't want that, right? We want him to get a firm no and understand that you might like her, but see, this is the thing we have to understand too. You might like somebody, but they ain't gotta like you back. And sometimes we think that if I like you, you gotta like me back. It's a numbers game. Some people won't like you back, and that's okay. It doesn't mean anything about you personally, that you're ugly or whatever. They just don't like you that way, and that's all right. Don't take it personally. As they always say, there's other fish in the sea, and there is. And Thunder, he says, DK, can she try and tell him that there are other women out there that I should have read your comment that actually want him? Tell him to catch a flight abroad, and he may even find true love and a wife. Yeah, but some people want what they want. But sometimes you have to have coping skills and say, I can't always get what I want. But yeah, he could. I'm sure he's probably got a passport and he can do all of that if he wants to, right? And Tracy says, period, he does not want to be your friend, and don't lie and agree, because the way you don't like him now is the way you don't like him. That's how you're supposed to like your friends. That's true. Hello, Easy E, how you doing? Comment, man, he says he should have just moved on after being avoided, but that guy sounds a bit weird. Yeah, especially, you showing up at places where you wouldn't normally show up, and to me, yeah, it sounds a little followy, if you will, like you following my moves and finding an opportunity. Hey, funny seeing you here. Is it really? Let's see here. I'm gonna skip down a little bit. Common Man says, does she have a problem with saying no to people? We must look at Brittany from the overall. And some people do. Some people don't want to be mean, don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or just kind of, and I understand it because I'm kind of that way. But sometimes it causes more harm than good when you don't have the ability to say no. No, period. Not no, comma. Because we say no, comma, then there's that, okay, there's hope. Maybe one day. Mike Nice, how are you doing? Mr. Power Tool, what's going on with you? In Roots Tracker, you say, men are not interested in friendship unless they're queer. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think some men are interested in friendship. They just want to be friends. Thunder says pepper spray. Yeah, you might want to get some of that And Tracy says, be careful. Sis, this sounds creepy. Yes, indeed. Easy says, came in late. Did I miss anything? Nope, you're right on time. DSB, how you doing? And thank you so much for the super sticker. Love and appreciate you for that. Brother Don, how are you today? Let's see here. Moving on down because I see that I'm behind. Is it hot to y'all in Houston? I am hot. Like I am sweating for some reason. It's crazy. And it's only like 67 degrees outside, I think. But anyway, moving right along. Okay. And Easy says to all the lovely ladies, and I'm sure everybody says thank you and thank you for me as well. And emulated or just how you doing says, ooh, you looking good, mama. Oh, and look at that fro, mama. And happy Valentine's Day, even though I don't celebrate that ish. Well, thank you. I don't really celebrate it either, but you know, I enjoy seeing everybody posting their pictures of their boo thing and all that other stuff. So I get a kick out of that. But thank you. Common Man says the car insurance companies can track your iPhone to keep track of your driving habits. Don't give permission to car insurance companies. They use tracking to raise your insurance rate. Yeah, they asked me that too. I was like, is you crazy? I don't need you tracking how I'm driving. I'm going to drive how I drive. Curtis, how you doing? Says a lot of women give off false signals. 1,000. He says, amen. I guess I'm interested. Maybe I'll put the link up in just a little bit. You could tell me what you perceive to be a false signal, because I think that's kind of important to talk about. Because if it's perceived that women are giving off false signals, maybe she doesn't know she's doing that. So I'd like to explore that if you don't mind. But let me get to the rest of these comments. And I want to click the link if you don't mind, or maybe you could put it in the comment section and explain what a false signal might look like to a man. And Tracy says, call me when he comes over again so I could drag his ass by his balls down. Tracy is my childhood friend from back in the day. Let's see here. Yeah, like who likes you, Miss Sweet Talks. And Thunder says I had a female coworker that was interested, and she would drive around my area to find my car and tell me at work the next day where she saw me. And he says if she was older, it wouldn't have been an issue. Yeah, we know you like the older ladies, very seasoned. But yeah, that could be creepy for a man too. You know, what's the name of that movie with Glenn Close? Fatal Attraction. All right, Tracy, you crazy. And let's see here. Black America says there's absolutely no reason to be friends with a woman. Yes, there is. I'm not finna be there with you tonight. I saw T said it's hot in South Carolina. Yeah, it is weird. And then it's gonna get cold again. It's just you can't win for losing. But I might be having a hot flash, so don't want to count that out. And Donovan says if women are walking around with almost no clothes on, is that a false signal? I don't know. I guess I need to ask a man. Is that a false signal? That if a woman is and walking around with no clothes on or next to no clothes, what signal could that be sending, and what false signal could that be sending? Tony, how are you today? I hope you are doing well. And I got to the bottom. Hey, Amanda, Donovan has a bone to pick with you. You say he's been after you for 30 years and you will not acquiesce his demands.
That's right. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart.
Yes, indeed. And Easy, you say, D, you getting used to climate cool on southwest side? This weather here in Houston, I mean, one day it's 40 degrees and the next it's 99 degrees. It's like, Lord have mercy, what do we do? You know, can we get like a straight winter where you could just dress in your coats and all of that, and then you could go to spring? But here it's bipolar. Armanda says she wants you to know it's been 35 years. Tony says thin line between love and hate is our Black version of fatal attraction. I like to explore that too, because I take thin line between love and hate to mean something else. Like you're already in a relationship. Like one day you love the person and the next you don't. But how does that work with somebody you don't know? You know. And Miss Sweets, you say so. Men love stalkers. I don't think they love stalkers simply because, you know, a lot of times when men are stalked, that woman really off her rocker, like rabbits and boiling pots and stuff like that. You know. Hey, Smoke, how you doing? He says we need Black leaders. Yes, we do. You want to sign up for that? You look like a master to me. Where'd that come from, Donovan?
Oh, wait, I don't remember. Which movie?
You sure look like a master to me.
I don't know. Harlem Nights.
You are the last dragon. Last dragon.
Last Dragon.
That was vanity to top
Right,
line.
right.
Yes. Amanda says, wrap that your 2 minutes of fun up in a bow. It's my day. I'll share and have a piece of Donovan's love. Y'all keep that to yourself, okay? And Miss Sweet says, come on to Wisconsin. It's going to snow tonight. I sure could use some snow just for a couple, like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes worth of snow. That's it. Thunder says, for me, if a woman is interested in me, it's only stalking if I'm not interested. Yeah, and that's the key to stalking. If I'm not interested and you keep on with the keep on with the keep on with the keep on after I told you no, 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 yeah, it's stalking. And I don't think people understand. There's a show on Netflix called I'm a Stalker. And they go behind bars. What's it called? Yeah, I'm a Stalker. And they go behind bars and they talk to people who got jail sentences for stalking. And a lot of those people's like, well, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I don't understand what I did wrong. It was like, fool, you was hopping out of bushes on people. That's not normal. So yeah, if you like it, then it's not stalking. But if you don't, then yeah, it's a little stalky. Tony said it's a difference in the two between a thin line between love and hate. Yeah, I agree. Brittany, he said, I didn't know we all have stalkers. Y'all be safe. I think everybody's been stalked at least once. I'm one of them. And it's pretty scary. I would definitely say it's a scary thing because you don't know where they are, if they are, watching you, or they gonna hop out of a bush on you, or any of that kind of stuff. And like I said, when it was out of my control, I called my dad. And my dad handled that ASAP. And I never heard from him again. I saw him one time in life after that, and that we were both happened to be getting our oil changed at the same time. And he was, hello. I was like, how you doing? And that was it. But yeah, my dad was like, if you like breathing, then you better leave my daughter alone. When I tell you, he called his mama, his sister, he said, give me every number you got on him. Every number you got. Because at first he called him and he didn't answer. Then he called his mama, say, hey, you love your son? You might want to get to him before I do. Because when I come, I ain't coming by myself. So you might want to talk to your son and tell him, leave my daughter alone. Then he called his sister and told her the same thing. And he called me back. Oh my God, why you tell your dad? I said, because I love me and my dad loved me. And what my dad told him is, as God is my witness, she ain't all that. She ain't all that. Go find you somebody that want to be with you. He says, but as long as if she loves you, I love you. She says, but if she don't love you, I don't love you. So that was the end of that.
He never told me that conversation. He never said that to me.
But yeah, and Miss Sweet, she says, I'm going to make some rabbit soup and get a man. Right. He didn't want that rabbit boiling on the stove. What happened was the Fatal Attraction. He was, tricking off on his wife, with somebody who didn't want to take no for an answer. She's like, oh, this ain't a one-time thing. I'm here for life. Being forever. How you doing? I hope you are doing well. You still in the hospital? Please get well very soon. I know being in the hospital is not fun. Let's see. And L Boogie, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Thunder says, DK, ask the men in the chat if you came home and there was a strange naked woman waiting for you in the bushes. Oh, God. Would you really be upset if she jumped out at you? Would y'all be upset? You wouldn't be? That's kind of creepy.
Would not be upset, but I mean, what's the difference between that and seeing some of these 304s running around in their uniforms all day? I mean, you're basically seeing everything, just going to the store.
Y'all weird, but I'm okay. Y'all saying yeah, you would take her up on the offer. I'm seeing people say yes, they would. Wow. Okay. Top notch rocker, how you doing? He says, Demetra, here is your snow. Oh, thank you. You know what? As a matter of fact, I cooled off, so I want to thank you for that. Tony says, That was, yes, that was the family rabbit. She was letting them know, I mean business, okay? You gonna be mine or something else is going up in this pot. And Easy says, don't eat the rabbit soup if it's red. I thought that was spaghetti. Tony said, hell, you would, hell yeah. Black America says nope. You know what? That surprises me about you. Not, I'm just saying, but I'm glad that you said that. And Roots Tracker says, awesome on the sign ups. And Easy says, true that, Donovan. Tony says, the jumping out of the bushes is the difference. And Emu says, send her home. Yes. And Miss Sweetie says, ladies, we need to cover up, agree, showing all the goods and teasing these men. Curtis says, who created love? 1,000%. Amen. God, right? If that's what you believe. Don says, no, sucker, you bought the cow. And Emu say, Gris. Okay, so I wanted to explore that just a little bit in regards to attire, sending false signals. I think that was the word. No, I'm one of those people who believe that attire cannot send a false signal. Because for one, if I don't know you, and I might be out there with 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid on, whether you like it or not, I don't know you. I'm not sending you no signal that you ain't misinterpreted on your own. See, if you see me out there with 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid and you think, oh, she right for the picking, you got something else going on. Because as I always say, no matter what a woman has on, she should not, those clothes or the lack thereof should not make you stop being a gentleman. It should not stop you from behaving in a great manner, right? It should not make you want to say, well, you're out here with 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid, so I'm a pounce on you. That's not what that says. It says perhaps, she needs to raise her self-esteem some, but regardless of what people have been told, she's not asking for anything. She's not. And like Farrakhan said, he says, women, when you dress in such a manner, you do bring the dog out of us, right? So it would behoove women, I agree with that, to, try to dress as decently as possible. And as my grandmother told my aunt so many years ago, when you use meat to catch a man, you're going to wind up with a dog, right? But again, that said man that may be looking at her dress or whatever as false signals, he needs to rearrange his understanding, especially if you don't know that woman.
Can I say something with that? I will agree with you. If a woman is out and she's minding her own business and she's doing her thing and she's not bothering anybody, do what you want to do. But I don't know how many of you guys in the chat saw a video. It came out a couple of weeks ago where this beautiful Black woman, nice body, and it was some kind of dating show or something. And she was in some jeans, her booty's spilling out. You can see her little drawers and stuff. And she had a little corset on. And she was basically showing her body. And she had asked the young man, where would you take me based on my appearance? The first thing the man said, he goes, you're dressed like that? She goes, yeah. He goes, well, we're going back to the crib first. We're going to the crib first. And she was like, well, why would we go to the crib? He's like, oh, well, we can do it in the car. Because of her attire, the way she was dressed, she gave off an appearance of a 304, right? Oh, did you see that one, Marcel Muhammad? Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, right? Some of you guys that saw that, you guys know what I'm talking about. It gives off an appearance. Like I said, I'm just running across you. I'm just now meeting you. You're dressing for the occasion. So if you're out there and I see you, because I was thinking the same thing. If you're dressed like that, we're going to the house first before we go to dinner or nothing like that. I'm not taking you to dinner when you've got all your stuff out. Yes, I respect your individuality, but the bottom line is when you dress a certain way, to me, it does kind of give me as a man an indication of what I plan to get into. So I don't know if you agree with that or not, Demetra. I don't know, but a lot of people saw the video. I don't know if you saw that video.
And I hope I said this right. Naima, how you doing? Says, don't y'all know some 304s dress modestly? Child. You said a mouthful.
Yes, there's a lot of 70-something-year-old 304s from the 70s. Yes.
I did not see that video. And welcome to the chat, but you are absolutely right. Welcome to the chat. I did not see that video. But again, If a man saw a woman with next to no clothes on and he picked her up or where however that happened, and the first thing that came to his mind is let's go back to the house and smash, y'all not gonna like this, but that's low-key rapey. That's rapey behavior, because what in your mind, my dear brother or whoever you were, will make you think that because a woman, yeah, she may not have the sense God gave a cricket to put clothes on, especially on the first date, but what would give you the inkling, not you, but the man who said it, to think that, oh, well, I'm going to take her back and smash her? A man worth some weight would say, you know what? I thought this was going to be a good idea. However, because I have high expectations of myself, I will not be seen anywhere with you. Now, if you want to try this again at another date and time, I would that you put on more clothes so that we can focus on getting to know each other. But a man, that's the first thing to come to his mind. He ain't got no business out there dating because he ain't ready.
Well, see, then I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the fact that men do not think like women. We're visual creatures, so we see what it is we want. I know, Demetra, you're not going to agree because you're a woman, but I'm a man. Most men, if you look at the chat, will agree. When a woman is dressed a certain way, that is how she is perceived, and that's the first thing that comes to men's mind. Our carnal knowledge comes into play at that point.
Y'all gonna be mad at me, but yeah, and it won't be the first time. That's not how a man thinks. That's how a boy thinks. That's how a boy that is immature thinks, that the first thing he should say to that woman, because again, she don't have the sense she should have as a decent woman, when he sees her dressed that way, is, oh, I'm going to take you back to the house and smash. No, man. And I'm not a man, but I'm going to tell you, I've been around a lot of men. And I can tell you right now, I wish I had somebody to come up here and say, I wouldn't think that, because you don't want her to accuse you of something you don't want to have to answer to. To say, because that says because a woman is dressed a certain way, I should be somewhat entitled to what's under that dress or the lack thereof. No man is thinking that way. And, I talk to my father a lot, and he says this to me all the time. He says, some men don't know what it is, or what a woman is, what it means to be with a woman. I ain't talking about no little girl, but what a woman is in every true sense of the word. But a man with a little bit of dignity would not be talking about, I'm going to take you back and smash. Because what do you teach her? You don't teach her that what you teach her is, I ain't no better than you. Because she's in the gutter the way she dressed, and you're going to go to the gutter with her and ask her to take her back and smash. That's the opportunity to show her, I have standards, young lady. We're not going to be able to go out like that, because I don't want nobody to see me and think less of me because of how you're dressed. Because whether we know each other or not, we represent each other to other people who don't know us. So, I could be wrong, but that's just my perception. See, we got to get to the habit of, as people, start teaching each other. And it could be a lesson in a couple of seconds. Because as a woman, if I go out with a man and he's dressed lackluster, he coming with a wife beater on and his pants are sagging, I'm not going to think, well, he easy pickings. The pants is almost halfway off anyway. So let me go in and see if we could just jump in the sheets real quick. No. You know what, dear brother? I thought it was a good idea. But maybe we could try it again when you show up like you want to go out and be presentable with me, because you see how I'm dressed. I didn't come out here haphazard and lackluster. I came out here like I was trying to impress you and everybody else. And I think that you should be doing the same. So I don't know. You say a woman who plays that game wants to go to the house. How do you know that? Maybe she just doesn't know any better. Maybe she doesn't have anybody really impart wisdom on her and say, hey, you got a nice shape and all that. Yeah, you could, but should you? Because that's always the question. Not can you, but should you? Maybe she doesn't have any women in her life to say, girl, put all that away. Because how is a man going to focus on you when he looking at your breasts and legs and thighs? Maybe she don't have nobody in her life to do that. And then there's a man, which would be, to me, abusive in a certain amount of ways, just talking about, well, I'm going to take you back and smash because you got a little bitty dress on. I think we'd have to rearrange our understanding if that's, what people are thinking. I don't know. Like I said, who am I? Baby Goat 05, how you doing? It says 304 is coming all attire from lingerie to a church. Moo, you ain't lying. They be acting up on the mother's board sometimes. Van Tran, how you doing? Thank you so much. Back at you. Black America says women don't know how men think. I've been around a lot of good men in my life, so I have a small idea, just a little idea. You know, I'm not a man, but I've been around some really fantabulous men. So I would imagine that I can speak for them with what I just said. Tony says, happy Pookie and Ray Ray Day. Lord have mercy. Easy says, a lot of women don't want to be treated like 304s while wearing 304 uniform. Appearance is the first man's judgment on you. I agree, but does that judgment need to be, I'm going to take you and how, why would you, as a man, why would you want to have sex with a total stranger who is dressed like that? You don't know her from a can of paint, but you want to invite her into your house because she got a scantily clad dress on? What does that say about you?
It really doesn't say anything. It's just how men are programmed. See, and that's the problem that we're having in society, especially with this, what is it, third level feminism and stuff. Women want men to think like women, and we don't do that. We are totally programmed different. If I'm taking a woman out, then you got to go see this video because it was very telling. The video basically said, she asked the guy, where would you take me based on the way I'm dressed? And he answered the question and like, we're going to the crib based on the way you're dressed. And I would have said the same thing. And most men would have said the same thing. Based on what we're seeing, you are in no position to go any other place but to the house and to the bedroom. And then the guy even said the back seat of the car. I don't know, but that's the way you have to see the video.
I have to see the video, but on what you're telling me, I think that man's mind is in the gutter too, because I think a man worth his weight, but like, you going home, sis.
Well, unfortunately, any man, and it has nothing, I don't believe it has to do with anything with worth our weight. It's just the idea of what is presented to us and how we're not saying all men are going to react that way, but most men, this was an attractive lady, based on what could I say, fellas? The opportunity to smash it or whatever we're going to do. We're not saying go raw or nothing like that, but if the opportunity is there and and things like that, most guys would. I mean, in all honesty, most guys would take any opportunity to do what they got to do, because if we didn't think this way as men, if we weren't programmed this way, ladies, the human race would go extinct. That's just a fact.
Miss Sweet Talk says, do women in strip clubs wear clothes? I ain't been in one of those. I would imagine they do when they don't. The Golden Child 12, how you doing? Says, I could tell you how I could tell us, or do you mean you how we think? Yeah, I'd imagine you can. But I just question the mind of any man who thinks that the first thing comes to his mind is he want to do it to her. I don't know. I would think that a man worth his weight and has some sense would be like, you going home, I'm not doing it. Why would you want to stick your thing in her? You don't know where she's been. And somebody says, is it all on the man? No, it's on each person. But if he's asked that question, the first thing that comes to his mind is, I'm gonna smash you. Well, that's, to me, it says a lot about him as well. And Emmy says, should a man have to tell her that? Be what you want to receive. Women are smart 304s. No, a man does not have to tell her that. But if he's asked, he should tell her that. Somebody asked me that, but then again, like I said, maybe I'm not from this planet. A man asked me something like that. The first thing is not coming out of my mind, because for one thing, I'm a lady. It's not gonna we gonna go jump in the bed. I don't know you. I don't know where you've been. And if you show up to a date dressed like that, I surely don't want to jump in the bed with you, because I don't know your habits. You might be jumping in the bed with everybody else. So protection or no protection. That's just me. And Naima, you say you shouldn't be thinking every woman trying to entice you just because of her attire. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Dusk Till Dawn with George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino's character was a little bit off, and he was under the perception that every woman that he met wanted to be with him. And he, unfortunately did some horrible things to those women. And they weren't saying that, but he was like, but I thought I heard her say. That's kind of what's coming to my mind. Common Man, you say, I wouldn't want to be seen with a woman who looked like she did in public, because then she would want you to fight men that gives her cat calls. Well, I hope not. But again, yeah, avoid all of that. All that together. No, you need to go home. I wouldn't go anywhere with you, first of all. I mean, that's just me. The golden child, he said, that's not what we're saying. Black America says all men think that way. No, they don't. Again, we had this conversation last night. You cannot speak for all men. You can speak for Donovan, but you can't speak for all men. Because I guarantee if I brought my daddy on here, he'd give y'all suckers a lesson.
And let me tell you, when her dad gives a lesson, bring a sack lunch, because you're going to be here for a couple hours.
Right, he's going to take y'all suckers to school, okay? Vince, you said, now I don't, because I respect my freedom, okay? And Tony says, walk like a duck. That don't mean you got to. Y'all fill in the blanks. The golden child, you said, shit, most of y'all don't know what a woman is today. I don't know who this y'all is. I'm gonna be nice today because it's Valentine's Day. But I would agree with you that a lot of women don't know what it is to be a woman, but you ain't looking at one of them women. I guarantee you, okay? I'm all woman and know how to be that. And Arneba says, I agree with you. I'm gonna catch up because I don't know what you agree with me about. All right, so let me catch up. Let me go all the way down. JBWR says she looked like she was going, so he assumed. What happens when you assume? Y'all know what happens when you assume?
You're probably right.
You make an ass out of you and me. Okay? You never assume, because there's a lot of men in prison right now behind assuming one thing or another about a woman. So you never want to assume, especially when it comes to a woman in that regards. I don't know. Donovan, and Donovan, knock it off, sucker. You've been in the military 24 years, and I know you have taught these lessons. And you've heard those lessons. And I'm sure you've talked to a lot of men in your career in the military who walked to the Briggs behind assuming a woman wanted to do A, B, C, and D.
That's very true. You are absolutely right. But just like anything in the military, anything in any organization, you are taught the textbook way of how to do it. But here's one thing. It's like when it comes to flying. They're going to teach you the textbook way to fly, right? But one thing they can't teach is technique, because every technique is different. So in that aspect, even though I taught you everything you need to do, you're going to make your own decisions at the end of the day. And sometimes those decisions are very, very good. And unfortunately, there's a lot of decisions that are very, very bad.
Absolutely. Miss B says, Donovan saying that she's making herself look easy. I bet that she is. I didn't see that video. Looking a certain way is not confirmation. Does that make any sense? She may look easy, just like a lot of people may look rich. They walk out with all their finest clothes on. You see them walking in the town. You're like, oh, they got a lot of money, and they going home to rats and roaches and no electricity on in their house, because it's perception. So always remember that perception is not confirmation, because you get in trouble behind confusing the two. But I get what he's saying.
Right. Now, Demetra, in the video, I hope you go and I'll find the link and send it to you just in case.
Okay.
But the woman asked him, where would you take me based on how I'm dressed? And he answered it very honestly. And most guys would say, the way you're dressed, this is where I would take you. So always keep that in mind. She asked, and then she asked, well, why would you want to take me there? And he said, well, look at you. What else am I supposed to think?
That you going home? That's what I would think you would think. I get it in your mind. You might think that, but I don't. I would, if the roles were reversed, I would never verbalize that. So you going home, because where's the lesson? I would think about laying you down. The lesson is not, if you're trying to be with a man like me. If I was a man, you can't go. I wouldn't go nowhere with you like that. You're not my woman, first of all, and we wouldn't be going nowhere with you wearing that. See, I'm not saying it's men's fault. Just like it's not a woman's fault that if a man shows up dressed one way, but wouldn't it be nice if we were mature enough to actually have conversations with people like that? Because if you bold enough to tell a man or a woman, I'd lay down with you, then you should be bold enough to say, I'm not going nowhere with you. You need to put on some more clothes.
So then let me ask you this to play devil's advocate. When we were in the DR, why were you so adamant with your holy water about those innocent women that were just dressed the way they were dressed, doing what they were doing? You were so quick to judge them based on their attire. Please answer that question.
I was not judging nobody. I don't know who you talking about. I wasn't worried about nobody but me, okay? Tony, you said, are you talking about me? Am I slow? I'm being nice. I'm going to be nice today because my sister's watching, and when I'm not nice, I get a lecture from her. So I don't want that today. Plus, today is supposed to be the day of love. Well, I'm going to give you a pass on that one. Let's see. Right. Naima wants to know, what's a 304 uniform? And in about 2 minutes, I'm going to get to this email. And then we can switch gears.
304, use your calculator and put in 304, then turn it upside down.
No, she said, what's a uniform? So what does those clothes look like?
So when you turn the 304 upside down and it's a HOE, it's that.
No, she said, what the clothes look like?
It's just revealing, very exposing of the assets and things of that nature. I mean, anything could be a 304 uniform, but if it's extremely done in an extreme manner.
Baby Goat, he says, can a man say what they deem to be an inappropriate attire when out trying to attract men, because you are tearing women down for being dressed like 304s, but then turn around and say men are visual?
I don't even understand the question. Can a man say what they deem to be an appropriate attire when out trying to attract men? So wait, I didn't understand that. So men are attracting men?
No, she's saying, so I'm gonna break it down, because you're saying because you're tearing down women for being dressing like 304s, but then you're saying you're visual. So basically, if I'm understanding this right, mm-hmm. You're saying you're attracted to a woman's body because a man is visual, but then you're tearing her down for dressing like a 304. So is there a way for a man to be visual, like with her? Do you get where I'm going with that?
It says, can a man say what they deem to be an appropriate attire for a woman to be wearing when they're out trying to attract the man?
Well, so basically, what do you find to be attractive? Like what she should be wearing to attract you?
It's the exact thing I tell you to wear if you really want to get a really good man. We should only see your eyes and maybe a little bit of the skin as you got the gloves on your outfit completely covered, because then that makes the man think about what's under those clothes. No, I'm just joking.
I know you lying.
Anything in moderation, to me. Now, like I said, I'm not the overall authority on that, but to me, it would be the same as men. If men walked out here in G-strings at a park or by a school, the man's getting arrested immediately. He's getting arrested immediately. So, common sense and moderation. I mean, would you wear that around your grandmother? Would you wear that around your children? Stuff like that. Would that be appropriate? Because like I said, it's really hard to tell people what the exact standard is. So if we just use moderation and say, hey, I don't want to push too far left, I don't want to push too far right, I think everybody is fine meeting in the middle. But again, you got a lot of people that are just extreme to what they're going to do. And unfortunately, that's offensive to some people. But again, we have two standards in the United States. You could have a girl that has her lingerie on, bikini, and a top and that little see-through sheer thing that they usually wear, that thing like Sierra was wearing or something like that. But you have a man wear the same exact thing to cover his male parts, he's going to jail. See, so let's meet in the middle.
Lorenzetta, how you doing? Says, I don't think it's just men. Body exposure reads fast. Sex, be it male or female, dressed like you're not for sale. So I don't think the issue is whether the attire looks like you're ready for sex. I think it's the action that one thinks they should take due to how somebody is dressed. So let's see who else came on here so that I can move on to our next subject. Trish, how you doing? Brogu, you say these modern men and women have lost their minds. The woman talking about smashing men just as much as the men talking about smashing the women. All of them think that way or out of order. I totally agree with you. Totally. Okay. Being Favorite says old-fashioned women or country women. If she can cook and clean, she likes seeing sewing and crocheting. I think that's what you meant. We talk about every day. We talk on the same level. She's a frugal shopper. All the Salvation Army. Yeah, you would think that would. Oh, Tony, you don't want me to speak my mind. Trust me, you don't want that. Yeah. If you got your woman like that, I say you're winning. Most definitely. Nah, Black America, you can't speak on my daddy. That you can't do. And my dad is almost 80 years old next month. I think my dad got a little bit more experience than you do. Well, I'm gonna just keep it at that. You know what? I would have my dad on. My dad watches every show. He might be watching now, shaking his head like, He called me too. He be like, boy, I tell you. You say some of these men don't know what it is to be with a woman. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay. Happy Valentine's to you, Jump Shot. I hope you are doing well. Brogu says some of these modern women today are just perverted. Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, and I feel like I have to say this, although I've said this a million times. This is not one of those shows to where when I say we, I mean I are beating up on men or beating up on women. I'm one of those people. I see both sides. So absolutely, there's some women who are out of their minds, being a little bit too fresh, as the older people would say. Okay, so who else came on here? And more, Sam, how you doing? He says men don't think so much. One who cares, how are you doing? All right, I think I'm getting to the bottom. Maria, how are you? Said that's because his male parts are outside of his body, not the same for a woman. I think I'm getting to the bottom. Yes, I'm at the bottom. All right. Hello, Shan. How you doing? He says, hello, Mr. Michelle K. How are you doing? I think you meant Demetra Kaye. Happy Valentine's Day. Was everything going well with you? Everything is great. No complaints. All right, so let's get to this email that was sent to me anonymously. Is that it? Oops, what happened to it? Hold on a second. All right, she's finding it for me, and then we'll get into it. Okay, so let me see. Tony, sure about what? What are you asking me? Am I sure about? And Mike, you said Mars and Venus, we don't think the same. Absolutely, we do not. Okay, so here we go. Here's the anonymous email that was sent. So put your thinking caps on, everybody. It says, hi, Demetra. It says, I am one of your subscribers. I shared my story below and would love to hear any advice you can give. Also, please note that this is the only relationship experience I have. I am also okay with you sharing my story, but I would like to remain anonymous if you do. Okay, so no names. Okay, so some background information about us. I am Jamaican, a Jamaican immigrant that moved here at 11 years old. My ex is an American, but both of his parents are immigrants too. My ex has always told me that throughout our 10 years together, his goal has always been to date and marry me one day. My health started to decline during my last year of college and has gotten worse over the past 10 years. We have never been intimate. The most we've done is hug and hold hands. Also, a lot of the lack of intimacy is due to my sickness. We're both 30 years old and we've known each other for 10 years. We are also business partners. Okay, now here is the story. My ex-business partner and I met in college through a counselor we both shared 10 years ago. Our counselor introduced us to each other at the end of my junior year. I didn't really have a good impression of him after our first meeting, though. So forward a couple of months and we meet again during the first semester of my senior year in college in class. Since we already met before, we ended getting closer in that class, and my impression of him improved, and I also realized he wasn't such a bad guy. After a couple of weeks, we got closer and became friends. A little while after that, he introduced me to his mom. After college, we kept in touch. I went through some family problems, and he was there for me throughout the whole ordeal. Before the epidemic hit, I think they meant the pandemic, we had falling out and became estranged. But during the epidemic, we started talking again and got closer once more. It was a little bit after that we started dating. But during this time, I had also gotten even sicker. My sickness that I'd been battling for a third of my life got worse. My ex was always understanding and supportive. He always tried his best to help with my health issues as much as possible. But one day we had a big fight and decided to call it quits and broke up. We still remained in contact through though for we're still business partners. A little while after he got married, my ex is Muslim and he became a Muslim a few years ago and has been devoted ever since. He recently asked me to become his second wife after my new treatment to cure my illness is over. But I have been very conflicted about it. I was always taught that marriage is between one man and one woman. I grew up in a Christian household, but I don't consider myself religious. But I always believed that a relationship such as marriage was supposed to be between two people. The thing is, I don't think it's a good idea to accept his proposal. While I'm not fond of the idea of being one of two wives, and because of that, I fear I may ruin both our lives if I accept his proposal while still conflicted. My question to you, one, what is your take on my situation as an outsider looking in? What advice do you have? Please know that this person is the only one I've dated and my relationship experience is limited. Then two, also, does this make me a selfish person for not wanting to share my spouse / life partner with someone else? Donovan, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You could go first, but to me, because my answer is very simple, it does make her selfish to not want to share, her life with a partner, especially at her age. Ladies, and let me say this, and I know you ladies do not agree with me, and you think I'm just this misogynistic, toxic masculinity. You're damn right I am. You're damn right I'm toxic masculine, because my toxic masculinity matched with your feminine wiles. We come together and it works. That's how it's supposed to work. You guys are supposed to be soft and tender. We're supposed to be rough and gruff. Then we come together and we balance each other out. That's exactly how it's supposed to work. But I know you ladies aren't going to agree with me when it comes to this. I believe she's very selfish in the fact that, ladies, a man can ruin your good years and you'll never get those years back, but a woman could never ruin a man's good years. Why do I say that? Because we could have children up until the time that we're dead. So you guys, in a lot of aspects, you guys are on a clock to have children, a clock to do this, a clock to do that, menopause. You guys go through so many changes, and that's the way it was created. So for some reason, women think you guys have all the time in the world. And even men think that we have all the time in the world, and we don't. We don't. There's been studies right now where people in my generation are checking out of here faster than any generation previous to that. So we don't have all the time in the world. We don't know when we're going to leave. And we don't know if every situation is going to be great. I've been married twice. Doesn't mean I'm giving up on love and all that other stuff like that. It just didn't work out for me, but I'm not giving up. And you never know. So my thing is, she is being selfish because she thinks she has all the time in the world, and she doesn't know that for a fact. But if she wants to live alone, and be to herself, hey, buy a dog and die and do what it is you're going to do. Because again, it is better to have loved and have lost than to never loved at all.
So I'm going to tackle it. So the first question is, what is your take on my situation as an outsider looking in? What advice do you have? Please know that this person is the only one I've ever dated, and my relationship experience is limited. I want to start there because your relationship experience is limited. I say if you're not sure, don't, as my mom would say, put all your eggs in one basket. Explore life a little. See if there's someone else out there that may be more understanding and want to only be with one woman. But and there's some people who've only dated one person their whole life and it works until they die, right? That does happen. But I want to go to the second part. He says, also, does this make me a selfish person for not wanting to share my spouse life partner with someone else? Absolutely not. Does not make you a selfish person, because one thing I'm going to never do is something I don't want to do for the sake of somebody else or whatever the case is, or looking one way or the other. You don't want to be with somebody who wants you to be a second wife. Don't be with somebody like that, because it may work for a couple of years or whatever, but at the end of the day, you sold yourself short because it's not what you wanted. If you want to be with a man who only wants to be with one woman, that's what you should set your sights on, because engaging in that type of relationship is only making him happy. Both people have to be happy and have to be pleased to some degree. Of course, there's no such thing as totally being happy, right? Because you're going to have to compromise. But I don't think that's something small. Like, okay, well, I usually sleep on the right side of the bed, but you want to sleep on that side. That's a compromise that you could probably figure out. But trying to compromise on sharing your man, and you don't want to do that, I say absolutely don't do that. And I'm going to tell you, there's men out there who will not ask you to do something like that. Now, I don't know. And you made a point to say that you all are from somewhere else, or at least your family are immigrants. You say you're an immigrant and his family are immigrants as well. So maybe it's culturally different in that way, but you have a right to say no to that. That doesn't make you selfish. It makes you true to yourself. One thing that I've always been taught by my mom and my dad is be true to yourself, whatever that means. Be true to yourself, not true to somebody else's self. And I also want you to rearrange how you see you in that situation. That is not selfish. It's not selfish to tell him, no, I don't want to share you with somebody else. Don't ever shortchange yourself for somebody else. And I know we live in a world where there's a lot of noise on the internet and everywhere else. A woman should do this, a woman should do that. That woman should do whatever the hell she wants to do that makes herself happy in her life. Okay? Now, when you get with a man that you deem to be suitable for you, then of course y'all have those conversations about what you like and what he likes. But putting your feelings to the side because he wants to take on an additional wife and you don't want that, it won't work. It's not going to work.
Now, did him and her get married?
They're not married. He wants to be married. Mm-hmm. He wants to be married, but he wants her to be a second wife. So I don't know if he's married already.
Okay.
So
okay, got it. Yeah.
He is married already.
Okay.
So,
okay. I get it. Yeah. Okay.
So it sounds like he took on a wife somewhere in between because they've known each other for 10 years, never been, intimate or anything like that. He wants her to be a second wife. She doesn't want to be that. So I would also say too, if he's already married, probably if you don't want to be a second wife, shouldn't be entertaining or having a conversation with him anymore at all, because it's confusing to him. And maybe he thinks he can, get you to understand that being a second wife is okay when that's not what you want.
Right. And let me clarify, when I say she's selfish in the aspect, if he's already married and stuff and they're these friends or whatever they're doing, to me, she has no other option other than to accept it or just go about her business. I mean, because if he's married to somebody else, it is what it is. So let me clarify that. And that's what I figured that's what was going on. She they're just friends and he's friend zone or whatever this thing is. If this man is already married and she wants to be the side chick or whatever they're going to do, she has no other option but to either accept being that extra person or go about her business at this point. You can't have your cake and eat it too in relationships.
So from what my daughter's trying to clarify, They're not together. They're business partners, which she did say. But he came to her wanting her to be a second wife. She doesn't want to be that. So yeah, don't be something that you don't want. Don't force it. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. That's a whole song right there, because what happens when you try to force something, it's uncomfortable, right? It'll always be something uncomfortable. I think being in a situation, especially a relationship, should be as natural as possible. Nothing should be forced. Right now, I know sometimes you have to kind of, rearrange your understanding about certain things for the betterment of the relationship. But something like that, nah. If that's not something you want to do, don't even pretend like you're cool with that. So I hope the Black America said that's horrible advice. Well, I mean, you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. And I think that's where the issue is. She doesn't want to do that. Yeah, so she should not be deemed to be selfish because she doesn't want to do that.
But see, this is where it's kind of confusing to me. Okay, when I'm in a marriage, I'm in a marriage between me and my wife. That is us two, number one. If you're an outsider, how do you sit there and act like life is unfair to you, and you're the one outside of the marriage? You can't have your cake and eat it too, can you? I mean, I don't understand.
They're not together. So she's asking her to be a second wife, and she's saying she doesn't want to share. She doesn't want to share her man or life partner with somebody else. So,
right. But wouldn't she know that he's married?
Go ahead.
She knows he's married. They were together previously and they had a fight and they broke up. What's what she said. And then she said he came to her and told her he wants her to be his second wife. They were broken up, not together. And then he came to her later on and said, hey, I want you to be my second wife. She knows he's married. She wasn't being a side piece or a third in any capacity. She said he came to her and asked.
Okay, but still, knowing that this is married, why would she even entertain that? Why would she even entertain it? But if she does entertain it, it's simple. Either you do it or you go about your business. I mean, to me, it's a easy
That's
answer.
Not a nice way to treat people asking for advice.
Well, no, I'm not trying to be mean. What I'm saying is it's a simple solution. Either you're going to roll with it because he's married to somebody else. You say, yeah, I'll be a second wife. Or you say, this ain't for me. And you just go about your business. It's a simple thing.
Yeah, I agree. Don't entertain anything that you don't want. And I think we all as humans need to get in the habit of that. Stop pretending that you want to be in a situation or trying to force it and hope that person is going to change, or maybe they're not, or this or that. People show you who they are. Even if they don't mean to show you who they are, right? If we just ask enough questions or we sit and think about it for a while, then, or have enough conversations with that person, they'll expose themselves. But he's being outright saying, I want you to be my second wife. That's something that you don't want to do. Don't do it. But it kind of goes hand in hand with the conversation we're having earlier with Brittany of, this young woman is saying, I guess she's feeling some sense of selfishness. Does it make me selfish? And it's like, you got to remove your emotions because that's a logical decision. It's not an emotional decision. You shouldn't care whether he thinks you're selfish or not. If that's not something you want to do, you tell him, no, thank you for considering me. However, it's not something that I think I want to do at all. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who would love to be a second wife to you. But then too, what does that mean to be a second wife? Not that I'm just curious out of my own mind. I'm not saying she's asking that. Does that mean that you pay the bills in my house? You pay my car note? You make sure my refrigerator is full and I have everything I need? Is that what that means? Or does that mean you just come over my house or whatever? We live in the same house and, you hop up and down on me like a trampoline. What does that mean exactly? I don't know. I'm just curious myself for that.
But the funny thing about that situation is with the younger generation, that type of lifestyle is, I was reading a report where it's a lot more accepting because unfortunately, what movie was that? There was a movie and there was a book on it. Oh, Classics, one of Spike Lee's first movies, She's Gotta Have It. That was an example of a woman who saw 3 or 4 different men in different aspects. You had the one serious man, you had the one chauvinistic type man, and then you had the Mars Blackman dude. And she saw all of these dudes that had components of things she liked in men as one thing. So she would go, when she wanted to laugh, she would go to Mars. When she wanted to be serious, she would go to John Canada Terrell. And she would, all these other things. And unfortunately, you got people that are serious people. You got some people that are funny people and non-serious and stuff. And you can't have it all in one package. And so they're saying that younger generations now, this poly lifestyle and stuff is more acceptable in the younger generation than it is in us old school type people.
Yeah. And in Common Man, it says truth advice ain't always nice. 100% facts. It's wrong to tell someone a lie to save their feelings, especially when you know the lie will hurt them in the long run. Exactly. And the worst lie you can ever tell is the one you tell to yourself. The lie that I don't like it. Maybe I'll learn to like it. Maybe I'll learn to adjust and share and be in a relationship with somebody. And you're not going to do that. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. And a lot of times we have a hard time being honest with ourselves. We fake it to make it. We lie because we don't want people to think we this, that, and the other. See, when we get to the point where we don't care what people think about us, then you start telling yourself the truth more often. And when you tell yourself the truth, then you start being more honest with other people. But I'm going to just say, for me, if I was in that scenario, I would be like, I'm going to have to, as more Sam say, respectfully decline. Thank you for thinking of me. But I ain't gonna be a second wife. I don't fit the description, and you do have a peaceful journey and whatever that takes you. End of story.
But I'm going to tell you guys this, ladies, from a man's perspective, if a man has an opportunity to have multiple women, he's going to roll with it if he can. I'm going to tell you, that's how a lot of men are programmed. We just programmed to have as many women as we can. If we can have 2 wives, great.
And I don't have a problem with a man having as many women as he can. I do have a problem with that man not telling the women that I have as many women as I can, because then that makes you, a horrible person, to make somebody think that they're in a relationship with just you and then you got other stuff going on. I think honesty is always the best policy. Don't lie to me, because a lot of times it's not the cheating that hurts. It's the lie. It's the gaslighting. And all that other stuff. Just be honest.
So let me ask you this question, since you're talking about honesty is the best policy, and I agree with you. So when women have their wigs on and their eyelashes and their fake butts and all that other stuff, is that a form of lying? Or is that enhancement?
Why would it be a lie? I'm confused.
Well, if you weren't born with that butt, that's not your butt. If that wasn't the hair that comes out of your scalp, that's not your hair. If those bat wings aren't your eyelashes, those aren't your bat wings. So, again, honesty is the best policy. And that's what I don't understand, because remember back in our day, D, or at least my day, because you're only about 25. Back in my day, some girls were born with front bumpers. Some girls were born with back bumpers. And some girls were even blessed to have both bumpers. But at the end of the day, a sister had one or the other, and they could compete. They can compete now. And I'm talking about your generation, D, these young 25, 26-year-olds. You guys all look the same. You're all in the same proportion. There's no variety as it used to be. Now, fellas, how many of you guys remember that girl that was like 5'2", had that nice little butt, and she didn't really have much up here, but but she could compete. You had a variety. Now they all look the same. So I don't know.
And as a woman, I would say there's not a lot of variety of men out there either. Y'all bald when you shouldn't be. Halfway wash your funk ass. Lying about how much money you got, what kind of car you drive, how many baby mamas you actually have, and thinking more of yourself than you are to. There's a lot of sap suckers running around like that. But you know what? If I don't want a sapsucker, I don't talk to a sapsucker. So if you don't want a woman that wear eyelashes, wigs, fake asses, which most of y'all dudes is lying to kick it. Because I tell you one thing, a man that say that he will let a woman hop out of a bush butt naked on him that he don't know, hop in the bed with him, he'll show hop in the bed with a woman he do know with eyelashes, wigs, and fake nails and everything else. See, I'm going to call cap on all of that. But, you know, y'all, let's see, the stuff you're talking about is the stuff you can see on a woman. Now, if I was a man and I saw a woman with a wig on, eyelashes and all that, and she ain't my taste, then I ain't gonna talk to her. But the problem is y'all talk to that woman, you know, and she's smoking some weed or whatever the case is. Y'all think y'all could change her mind because you're giving her your little 2 minutes of fun, you know, and you think, oh, I'm gonna put it on her real good and she gonna stop doing all that stuff. She gonna snatch your hair off. And another thing too, y'all talking about y'all want a woman with no wig on her. The minute she pull off her wig and have a natural hair, y'all gonna say, oh, you look like a chicken head or whatever the case is. So a lot of times women don't know what you want. So I say, be true to yourself and go get the woman that's for you. Period. You don't want a woman with wigs, eyelashes, and wig, whatever. I tell you what, for every man that say he don't want that, there's 10 who will sop it up with gravy. Any more questions?
That's an interesting take. That's a very, very interesting take. Now, I would say that is a form of deception. If you're asking me, that's a form of deception because when all that stuff comes off, who the hell is this? That isn't who I left the club with.
You know how many women have gone home with a man who says, yeah, I got a crib right around the corner and it's his mama's basement. And he took her home in his mama's Buick.
Wait a minute. I'm going to defend the men right now. How many of you ladies have been told by your mamas, your aunts, your grandmothers, your uncles, your daddy, men lie? This is how we keep the human race going. We will say and do anything to get the goodies. And you guys know that already, and yet you still fall for it.
And this is why doves cry. It really is. This is why doves cry. The man of the new era, the 2024, 23 just left, has often said women cannot take accountability. And here you are not taking accountability.
Men take accountability for everything. I could be deemed the father of a child that is not mine, and I still have to pay it. The whole system is set up on men accountability. You know, where do you women pull this stuff out of your brains from? This whole system that we live in is set up on men accountability. When you get married, usually you take the man's name. We are accountable for everything we do. We just can't walk out here and get Section 8 and all this other stuff unless we have like children and all this stuff. I mean, you know, it's just ridiculous how we fight against the system that's been set up since the beginning of time, and we think we're going to change it in a few years. It's not working.
I'm going off of what you said. And Marcel says, Minister Farrakhan has said, when I was in the nation, take the makeup off, and I have not put it back on. Yeah, you know, there are women who wear a little bit of makeup in the nation. But yeah, I get what he's saying. I don't wear a lot of makeup myself. Lipstick. I don't even know where to begin, because you just said yourself that is a known fact that men lie. Y'all should be all right with y'all should know we lie. That sounds like you're dodging accountability to me.
No, we lie in the aspect of getting what we want from women. That's just part of the game. It's been like that since the beginning of time. You know, I'm not saying it's right. I didn't say that. That ain't what I'm saying. But I'm saying that does actually go on.
You know who Eve is?
Yeah, she's the one that put us in this wicked system that we're in now. It's all her fault.
So you know women can lie too, right?
Absolutely.
So why you mad?
No, I'm not mad.
Deal with it.
I'm dealing with it.
I'm just saying, because that's essentially what you're telling us. Deal with it. Deal with it. Did you say, with the way things are, people will need to pool resources in order to make it. 2 or 3 women may have to shack up with the man as long as everyone's needs and some wants are met. with no problem. Yeah, if they all know that and they are in agreement with that, I say shack up until you can't shack no more. The problem is men and women shack up with multiple other people and don't tell the other people they shacking up. If you like polygamy, I love it. It just ain't for me. And I will never fault anybody if that's their lifestyle. If it works for you, it works for you. I mean, so yeah, absolutely. Miss Sweets, you say men will have sex with their hands and release in a sock. Of course, they will mess with anything. Oh, Lord have mercy. Brina, how you doing? Says, I don't need to say anything. The master debater said it all. All right now. I got y'all. And then trust me, I'm tired today. I have to do a lot to get some energy today because I be burning the candle on both ends sometimes. Yeah, bald headed and nutsack hanging to their kneecaps. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah, y'all know I ain't lying. The ladies know I ain't lying. Like you said on Waiting to Exhale. Was it good for you? And she's like, what? Was what good for me? Dwayne, how you doing? Say it's a lie. Boom, Quisha weaves and the glue wearing Karens. Stay away from them. That ain't your woman. Why are you running up on those women in the first place? You shouldn't even be talking to those women. You can spot the stuff a mile away. Hell, sometimes I'm driving in the car. I see a woman in her car next to me and the eyelashes precede her, So y'all know that the woman is wearing a wig and weaves in the as Donovan say, the raptor nails. Why are you even talking to a woman like that? I'll tell you why you're talking to a woman like that, because you think you could change her mind. You think you can make her look like Florida Evans. And, if you just hit her with the 1-2, then she going to stop doing all that. She going to be domesticated, right? She going to put on an apron and put a pig in her hair. Yeah, that's how you met her. Deal with it. Or don't approach that woman. Just that simple. But don't try to get with these women and then demonize them because, well, she was wearing a wig. You knew that. You knew that purple hair didn't grow out of her scalp. But still, you took a chance. Maria talking about, we can be kind of crazy sometimes. Goddess, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Emily say, I made sure my husband saw me with no makeup on purpose when we were dating. Yeah, I think as a woman, see how y'all see me right here? That's how I am all the time. I don't have no pancake, no shade, and nobody who do. I don't wear pancake makeup. I don't have no makeup on my face at all. I'm under the impression if you eat right, drink water, get some sleep, whatever, to have a good skincare routine, you do all right, But I'm not knocking anybody who wears makeup. I've just been one to never be able to do it successfully because by now I'd be smeared all over my face because I like to touch my face a lot and I like my skin to breathe. But I think it's important for a man to see what he's getting. My mom told me a long time ago. She says when a woman lays her head on a man's shoulder, he don't want a shirt full of makeup. Do something that enhances you or whatever. I think enhancement is nice, but all that other stuff people got going on.
Well, I just want to say this. Sometimes I'm on this podcast with you, Demetra, and I don't even think it's you.
Why?
I don't even think it's you. It has to be a brand. It has to be a brand because all the knowledge that goes in there and the patience. It has to because the Demetra Kaye I know will fight you in a minute. So that's just what I'm saying.
I'm working on myself. I'm working. I have people that I listen to as well. I don't know everything. Trust me. I get a verbal foot to my backside when I'm not acting right. My father will call me up in a heartbeat. Say, I don't like what you said. Or he'll give me different information. My sister as well. Donovan, and you know this for a fact because you was privy to a heated conversation we had. So, my sister, so I got people who keep me in check as well. So I'm working on myself. I try not to come outside of myself as it is unladylike, but don't get it twisted.
I know we've got to get to these comments, but I have a question in regards to your show, The Love Connection here, whatever we got going on here. My question is this. What is your thoughts on a man who is in love with a woman, and that man and woman, they're really in love, everything's going to work out, and the woman decides to move to be with the man, and then the relationship doesn't work out? Do you think that it's the man's responsibility to make sure she gets put back into her natural state and she's made whole, unless of course she wants to go and do her own thing? But what is your thought on that? When a relationship doesn't work out, should the man make that woman whole as if he never interrupted her life, or should he just say, hey, everybody for themselves? What do you think?
I think he should do his best to do that, but this is why I say, as I've been taught by my mother and father, God bless the child that's got his own. See, when a woman gets with a man, she should be whole in every way, shape, and form. When you get with a man, from a woman's point of view, you don't become less of yourself. You don't become less resourceful. You don't become less, of anything. You're still intact, wholly. Now, if that relationship don't work out, I'm just saying, from my point of view, you should not be stuck. That's why the women back in the day, Donovan, you talk about it a lot, that say have mad day money, sock something away, put something away every now and again, in case you had to get up and, do something for yourself, then you can do that, right? But I think that he should try his best. Hey, it didn't work out or whatever. I'm going to try to, set you on your way. But like I said, God bless the child that's got his own. And I'm telling you women out there, don't ever get with a man and not know how to do nothing. Not know how to save yourself if it comes down to it. Because as I always say too, my mama used to always say, God rest her soul, only a poor rat has but one hole. So if you are a woman or a man or whoever, and you're dependent solely and wholly on one person, and that relationship don't work out, and you talking about what I'm going to do. I mean, we've got a lot of lessons and people to draw from who said, I was with somebody and they turned all the utilities off and I didn't know what I was going to do. You know what I mean? You should have been to the point like, all right, bet I'm going to turn them back on, or I'm able to go move or do something, but to where you ain't got two rusty nickels to rub together. Don't never be half of yourself when you get with somebody else. Somebody put that on a t-shirt. So I hope that helps. Easy say, D, my dad said to me, you know why the women are effed up? Because the men have continued to F them up. Do you think there is truth to that? I will say this, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, there are no good women because there are no good men. And in part, yeah, a lot of women behave the way they do is because of the things that they have been through at the helm of a man. So y'all can do what you will with that, but that's not the first time that I've heard that. I'm sure some people will argue with that, but I agree to an extent, absolutely. But I would say this too, as a man or a woman, it sucks when people do things to you, not even just in relationships, romantic relationships, with any relationship. Try your best to escape being effed up. I know that sometimes we get effed up, but let that effing up be momentarily. Don't make it a lifetime, because there's some people who never rebound from heartbreak, or, you might have a business partner, they steal a bunch of money or something from you. You might say, I'm never going into business again. How about to say, I'm never going into business with you again? But it's not going to stop me from going into business. But let those things be a moment, because I know people to this day who have been forever scarred by something somebody did to them, So, and also, as I say, learn not to take that stuff personally. That person who did the effed up thing to you, that means they're effed up. Don't let them F you up, because they will have to answer for what they did to you. I know some people don't believe in karma. I do. I don't believe you could put negative energy out there and you never get that back. Oh no, that comes back to you. Positive energy, you put that out there, it comes back to you as well. So be careful of the energy you put out there and the things that you do to people. So I tell y'all that every day, my goal is to never do harm to somebody intentionally. Sometimes we accidentally harm people by saying things we probably shouldn't have said. But what was the intent behind it? Because we know there's people who work up with intending on hurting other people. I saw a video today, as a matter of fact. It was a sister, I think it was in Dallas somewhere, I don't know. She sat her wide behind down in a woman's chair, the hair braider's chair. The woman braided all of her hair. She left up out of there, and when the woman was asking her about it, the woman who stole the hairstyle pepper sprayed the hair braider 3 times and talking about, you lucky I don't shoot you. And I thought, now why I would be scared to steal somebody's hairstyle, because I'd be scared my scalp would fall off. Like you'd be cursed behind doing that to somebody. So you got to pay for everything that you do. Just know that. Ms. B says, I'm loving this live. I'm glad I didn't miss it. And I'm glad you didn't miss it either. Malo Factor, how you doing? Welcome. And everybody else who came on here, easy. You say eyelashes in Houston off the chain. They off, yeah, there's some doozies out here. I will say that. I was like, how do you see with all of that? But I don't know. Donovan, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I have another question for you.
Sure.
Let's talk about relationships here real quick.
Sure.
And I'm going to make this super quick. And I just got a question in regards. Would you say in relationships, when it comes to young people, well, your age group, because I'm old, should we tell our young girls to prioritize marriage first or career?
Or
both at the same time.
I'm wanting to say both. And even if it's not a career, I never advise anyone to not know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you have an opportunity, because as I said, my mom, she graduated in 1967, and the women in her age group, the goal was to get married, right? Get a husband, and you get married, and you stay home with the children. That was the goal. They wanted to be married. My mom, when she got married, she was a nurse, but she stayed home, for a long time. So she put the marriage and her children first. But my mom has something she could back it up if she needed to. You know what I mean? So that I advise that, but I don't advise anybody to get into a relationship and not know how to do nothing, because we've seen that backfire a lot. But yeah, most definitely, if you have an opportunity to get with a man and he's wonderful and all that other stuff, yeah. But I think the mistake a lot of women make and have made is getting in relationships and don't think they have to know how to do anything. You know what I mean? You should, as Malcolm X said, read the books that he's reading. That way, when he comes home, he don't want to talk to you about the soap operas that you watched all day and what your girlfriends was talking about. Be able to converse with him about the things that he's out in the world learning about, and, be interesting. And I think a lot of times in relationships, women stop being interesting, because we should not mistake being cute for being interesting, because you don't be able to drive down and get your eagle on so many times before the man is bored with that, right? So I think it's definitely should be interesting and know how to do something, know how to save yourself if you got to.
Yeah, the reason I bring that up is because it's interesting that the trend is starting to change very slowly, where a lot of women, especially these so-called successful women that put career first, are now, at the wall or whatever you want to call it. And now they're seeing that maybe I should have done both at the same time. And I always wondered, as great as we are as a people, why is it that the other groups could go to school, have a career, and be married and have it all at the same time, and yet we don't do that? And then there's that back end, because unfortunately, a lot of our women think because I got a master's degree or I got a PhD, they should get a certain type of man at that level. There's very, very few men at that level that would be at the same thing. And so I've been noticing there's a trend to where people are saying that guy that's the plumber that has a vocational skill, that guy's making $70,000, $80,000, and we're not talking about settling, because we're talking about settling. Men can settle too, ladies. Don't ever forget that. We can do the same thing. But the trend is coming now around to where we are talking about when these younger ladies are living this Disney fantasy of, I'm gonna meet Prince Charming, he's gonna solve everything, and and everything's gonna end out great. That's not true. So the trend now is, hey, that guy that's doing something, he's not Nook and Pookie from the block. He's got a little vocational skill. Hey, he's a good guy. Get to know that guy. Or the old saying, like somebody that likes you. I really believe that we can do all that at the same time. Unfortunately, for some reason in our community, we think that we have a title or a degree. We are at a level to where people should be at that level too. And that goes for men and women. So what are your thoughts on that?
So what's the question again?
Well, my question is, do you think that we need to start change? Have you seen the narrative change to where we're saying, stop looking for this Disney fantasy of a needle in a haystack of finding this perfect person that's making 6 figures, 6 inches, whatever, and like the person that you should like? That likes you.
Yeah, because I've seen that conversation a lot on the internet about the 6, and I actually really heard a lot from y'all, 6 inches, 6 whatever. I say, if you could get that, great, because people want what they want. It's just, I go to a car lot and I want to buy a Mercedes, a red one, and they say, well, we ain't got it, but we got brown ones. That's not what I want, right? So there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want, but then I might sit down at that table and they go over my finances and they like, hey, actually, you need to be in a VW, a used one, So then I might have to adjust my wants because I need a car, but I can't afford that red Mercedes Benz. My money only says that I can get a VW Bug. So that's where you have to be realistic, right? That's where the realistic part comes on. You walk onto Mercedes lot and know you're working at Taco Bell. That's not realistic. So if you can get that, great. If you can't, then you might want to say, okay, let me start. What else you got on the lot? I may not like that VW Bug, but guess what? Does it run? The tire's good. Is it going to get me to and fro and then some? Yeah, it's going to do all that. Then you might have to also think that way about somebody else. I might want to be with Idris Elba. But guess what? You may not want to be with me. I might have to get with Idris Elba. I don't know. I have to be realistic. But I think we have to start being realistic. If you can't get what you want, then you have to start being realistic. Because I'm sure that everybody has a story that they passed up on somebody that may not have looked the way they wanted them to look or whatever. Then when they saw them a little bit later on down the road and they're singles and they said, who knew? I should have, I should have taken them up on it, or I should have took her up on it. And now I'm here having a hungry man on Valentine's Day by myself, or a hungry woman. So, yeah, like who like you. I agree with that. As best you can. If you're looking for love, looking for a relationship, yeah, you might have to budge on some of that stuff, because one thing I know for sure is looks fade. Booties drop. That 5 minutes turns to 2 minutes. You ain't going to be able to drop down and get your leg on. You might have to use the back of a chair to hold yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Those things fade. But what's inside should evolve. While we are devaluing in looks, hairline gets pushed back, or whatever, we should be evolving as people from the inside. The older we get, we should be wiser. We should say, yeah, I know you a bald sucker now, but you my bald sucker. I remember when you had a head full of hair, but guess what? I love you still. You know what I mean? So that for me is the goal. Because one day I might not have this head full of hair, Hell, I almost didn't have it not too long ago. All of the stuff I went through, I ain't lying. My hair got, was falling out and stuff. I was like, all right. So we have to learn. We have to, when we get older, learn to love what's left. What's left is what's important. Wigs, they can come off, but what's under that wig? And some of y'all men, I'm gonna say this, you ain't gonna like it, but you might be passing up on a damn good woman under that wig. I'm not saying you should, a woman with a rainbow wig on and looking absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I get it. But if she's got a wig on and, for whatever reason, she might be a really good woman. If the wig don't look ridiculous, because a woman wearing a wig don't always mean she hate herself. A woman might wear a wig because it's easier to, maintain. She's protecting her hair. I can't wear my hair like this all the time because, the type of hair that I have, eventually I'll show up on here with 2 strands of hair left, So just like I tell women, you might be passing up on a man who's 5'9" instead of 6 feet. That's a good man. Might be a good woman up under that wig. So, it's just really a lot to think about. And I know, like I said, I'll be 53 in April. I've seen it. Yeah, right. Imagine that little gray streak right there. That's I did that on purpose today. But I've been through a lot, and I think I know enough. Not everything, but I know enough. That at the end of the day, is that person good? Is that a good person? Because there's a lot of fine individuals walking around. Ooh, they make every head turn and all of that. But underneath that fineness, they are horrible people. That they're so bad that the devil will kick them out of hell. Be like, hell to the no. We got some bad mofos down here, but nah, you can't stay here. So it's just something that we got to think about. Your woman may not come looking like Beyonce. My man may not come looking like El DeBarge or whatever. He may come looking like Bookman.
Right, exactly. And I bring that up because I hear so many young women talk about, I'm not settling. And to me, that's ridiculous. You're going for, hypothetically, and I'm glad that your delusion is over about El DeBarge. I'm sure if he comes by, you would still, try to shoot your shot, which is great. But you realize that, hey, I might not get El DeBarge. I might have to get Saj DeBarge, or whoever this other guy is, whatever the deal is. And the thing is, we have so many of these young women that have been taught by their moms, aunts, whoever, that, oh, girl, know your worth, don't settle. Well, golly, if you're from the hood and you've got a hood mentality, I'm not saying that makes you a lesser person, but how the hell you think you're going to get to an Idris Elbis? That's a needle in a haystack, is kind of what I'm saying. It's like, let's be realistic about our goals, because as a lot of people in the chat have been saying, we need each other at the end of the day, and 2 incomes get you out of poverty a lot faster than 1. When I hear young women, and I'm in California, and you know how expensive California is. I was talking to a young girl, and she said, ain't no way in hell she's going 50-50 with no man. So I looked at her and I said, so you rather take 100% of the burden? Well, you're struggling right now. So rather than taking 50-50, you would take the 100. She was like, yeah. And I was like, where is she getting this thought process from? I'm not saying go find you any man and do it. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even be talking to no woman like that for more. After she said that, I wouldn't even. It's a waste of time from that point, And Sam, you say, my opinion, I say looks matter. Every man and woman want to be with someone who's appealing and attractive in the eyes. No one can pretend to be attracted when something is just ugly. No, I agree with you on that. But what happens?
All the same when the lights go out. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what happens after, years go by and you get wrinkles and, everything starts to sag and drag. Then what? And unfortunately, I'm not saying this about you, Samuel, but unfortunately, that's where we get this trade-in culture, where we trade people in. You trade in cars, not people. You trade in people if they're not working anymore, they're not serving their purpose in your life. But we are in the habit of trading people in, good people in. You know, like trade a car that's still running and looks good. And we're trading people in. We got to stop doing that. You know, I know you want to, and I think we should do our best to look our best, right? I get it. You don't want to come home to a booger wolf. You know, she looking crazy. Don't look like she even saw no bar of soap in 2 weeks. I get it. You know, I don't want to be with no man like that either. But you know, if my hair get a little thin and yours is gone and all that other stuff, should we trade each other in, or should we just say, hey, I'm rocking with your baldy locks. You stuck with me. So I think that's important, you know, because there's never enough of more. We always gonna want something else, but we have to learn to be satisfied. And that's the problem. People don't know how to just learn to be satisfied. Could I be with another man outside of my relationship? Yes. Should I? That's the question. And if I'm not satisfied with this man who is a good man who's done nothing to me, am I going to be satisfied with another man outside of this man? See, the problem ain't with the man. The problem is with you. You don't know how to sit still and be satisfied. We got to learn how to do that. We learn how to do that, then we're going to have more intact households and, you know, things like that. We're going to learn how to dance with the one that brought us instead of, you know, dancing around the damn dance floor with everybody. If that makes any sense. So, we got 2 minutes. AB, how you doing? Yeah, book me more.
Your favorite number, 2 minutes.
Not my favorite number. AB, how you doing? Says I heard a young lady say blue collar men are broke. Shit, depends on what blue collar man you talking about. Okay.
During the pandemic, the blue collar men were the only ones making money. Everybody that had a degree in general were sitting at home. You
know what I'm saying? Most blue collar men know how to work with their hands. You know, they are very industrious. They know how to fix things and all that stuff. I'd impress upon a woman to get with a blue collar man. Because they tend to know how to turn little screws and, you know, all of that. Yeah. They know how to do all that. You know, I'm nothing wrong with the white collar men or whatever, y'all nice too or whatever. But shoot, the industrious men, they going to know how to eat. They going to know how to go fishing when, you know, things get slim around there. So I'm just saying.
I was getting my oil change at my car dealer with $19.99 coupon special, whatever. Synthetic too. I was like, I'll have them do it. It was cheaper for them to do it than for me to do it. I looked at the labor cost just for the mechanic, 1 hour, blue collar in California, 1 hour, $225 at the dealership. I'm talking about the dealership.
Blue collar,
$225. And guess what? The oil change took an hour. Now we know I can do an oil change in 10 minutes. But guess what? They keep you in that hour so they can charge that $225 service fee if that's, you know, you didn't have a coupon on it like that. But think about that. $225 and this person doesn't even have a degree. And people keep talking about blue collar people are broke. I don't think so. Call a plumber and just have them come just to show up to your door. You're looking at least $100 just for him to show up. I mean, come on.
Blue collar man. I mean, there's mechanics that make $1 million a year. Plumbers, you know, all of that. So that, you know, don't sleep on those blue collar men. You know, I know in the soap operas and all the, you know, the gray or whatever it is, 35 Shades of Gray or whatever it is, they're telling you, you know, you're going to meet a man, he going to whisk you off on his helicopter and all that other stuff. Now you better get you a blue collar man. You know what I'm saying? He come home after he done been out there all day fixing stuff. You make him something to eat, man. Let me be quiet. Because
and don't let him have a union. Half the year, he's sitting out on an injury, plus getting paid.
Okay. Right. So, yeah, don't sleep on those blue collar men. And Brina says, blue collar man is fine with me. Shoot, me too. AB says, facts, handyman makes $65 an hour down here. Right. You know, totally agree with you. Emmy says, I'm a product of a vocational background. I was earning more money than my contemporaries with degrees. Oh, and that's usually the case. And thank you, DSB, for the super sticker. I love and appreciate you for that.
I mean, how many of you people out there like myself, you have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, but you're working a $15 an hour job? Do you guys realize you got fast food workers now that are making more than you are, and you've been at that job for at least 8 years?
Right? Was it Chipotle? It was paying like $21 an hour or something like that. Y'all hiring? Yes, blue collar. They got that good health insurance. Yep, all of that. Like Donovan said, they got the union. Man. Well, I mean, if I'm gonna find the stand at the nearest factory, how y'all doing?
Ladies, okay, I'm gonna give you guys the game. If y'all don't know this, okay, I'm gonna give you the game. You want to find a man that's going to benefit you in the long run? Stand in front of Lowe's or Home Depot. The men that are there, if they're in there shopping and getting that wood, go to the lumber section or go to the painting section, or even go to the kitchen and the bathroom section. Those are the guys that are out there doing that work. They're doing that work.
Yeah, Easy's right. Talk about the men that are in the refineries. Yeah, they're making a lot of money. That is What you say that refinery was? I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Miss Sweetie says union pension, life insurance, will D. Yeah, they be having all of that. Absolutely. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Donovan, you have any plans for this evening?
Yes, I do. I do have plans. I will be going to my favorite spot that I take a lot of my ladies, Winco, pick up a box of chicken, come back home, sit down, do my podcast, my own podcast as well. And I'm going to critique this podcast and get the information out. You guys do us a favor. Share this, like this, subscribe, and share this on your platform so we can get this love connection out as more people come on the show. I think this is a little bit different show in where we're getting the advice and stuff. It's not these delusional people talk about he's got to be 6 figures, 6 feet. I'm not working right now, but I deserve a man. These dumb shows like that. We really got to fix the disconnect within our community between men and women. But I'm going to be doing that and basically spending time with my cats and kind of just sitting at the house. That's what I'll be doing. What about you?
Yeah, and Easy just says, am I booed up tonight? I'm going to tell y'all what I'm about to do. As soon as I give y'all this, y'all see this flyer up here with love, Demetra Kaye, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Time. Of course, you guys can hit the email, ilovedk@gmail.com if you want to come on the show, or you have an anonymous email or whatever the case is, or something you want us to address. We would love to do it. As I said, our goal is not to, as Donovan said, to got you and when you. Nah, we want to come to an understanding because we are all learning. Even for those of us who've all been through it, we're still learning, right? So we're going to keep with this. As I said, y'all asked for this show, and so I finally gave in. So far, I think tonight was wonderful. I'd like to thank Brittany for coming on, and then the anonymous email that we read. I'd love it. So y'all keep it coming, and we can continue to grow this particular show. But there is the email. Now I'll put it up throughout the week on Facebook and YouTube in the community section so people can see it. What I am going to be doing now. Oh yeah, Pop, I saw that about Dr. Umar. I didn't like that. Looks like some women ran up on him or something. It's crazy. It's sad actually. I didn't see it as he got clowned. I saw it as two ignorant women, and it's sad. But I don't take that for something that he did unless he did something. I don't know. But what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna jump, huh? I'm not. My daughter's talking about I'm gonna finish this episode of Criminal Minds. I don't be liking to watch that stuff. They weird on that show. I'm gonna twist my hair up. I'm gonna twist my hair up. This is actually kind of sad. I'm gonna put my pajamas on and I'm gonna get to bed and I'm gonna watch Pastor Thaddeus Matthew. I watch that. I'd rather he watches me because I don't halfway be knowing what he's talking about. Then I might finish watching my half-watched episode of Sex in the City. I like to watch that, even though I've seen all seasons of it. I like to watch it again. And then I'm going to fall asleep. And then I'm going to wake up at about 2, 3 in the morning and contemplate the meaning of life until I'm sleepy again. Then I'm going to wake up at 6, maybe 7 if I'm lucky. And then I'm going to go walking, maybe running in the morning. It's very eventful, huh? You guys are haters. You wish you wish y'all could be doing.
And I want to remind everybody, your average logical thinker, she has a Valentine's video on her YouTube channel. Go check that out and see what she has to say. It's a short video, so it isn't a long one. So go check that out and see some of the wisdom she's dropping over there.
Yes, we definitely will do that. Y'all asked me, I told you, listen, Demetra Kaye lives a very uneventful life. And guess, I got a praise report. I almost forgot to tell y'all. I got to sit up straight in my chair. I went to the doctor today, okay, for my checkup. I go to the doctor every 6 months, because I am one that traditionally suffers from high blood pressure. I always have, no matter how big or small I was. So I've been working on myself. So I went to the doctor today, and the nurse takes my blood pressure, and she says, it's 141/78. She goes, it's kind of high. I'm like, is it? So then the doctor go in there and he says, yeah, your blood pressure's high. I'm going to have to raise your medication and this. And I'm like, no, we're supposed to be going the other way. So he takes my blood pressure again. He says, it's perfect. It's 120/71. I'm going to have to drop your medicine. Has it been that way for a while? I said, yes. In fact, I get lightheaded. Like if I'm exercising, I can't bend over and touch my toes. Keep your mind up here. Can't bend over and touch my toes because when I come up, I get lightheaded. So he says, okay, we're going to have to lower your medicine because I'm trying to get off of it. So I've been watching my sugar intake, being really careful about that. Salt, not so much because I'll get into that another day. Exercising moderately, but more importantly, not letting people stress me out, not worrying about things I have no control over. Donovan, yeah, because people will take you to a grave if you let them. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear before we leave here. Stop letting people take you there, raise your blood pressure, and worrying about stuff you have no control over. And this is the first time in a very long time that I got a report like that. And I was so happy because, it was the sugar, but I think it was just letting stuff go and saying it is what it is. Because the time before I went to the doctor, he says, you have stage 2, bordering stage 3 kidney disease. I said, huh? Me? Because if your blood pressure is not controlled, that'll happen. And I said, oh, no. I said, I got to reverse that. And when he read my numbers, he said, your kidney function is normal. So we got to be very careful of the things we allow people to do to us. Of course, diet and exercise is important, but I thought today is Valentine's Day, and that's the best gift that one can give themselves is love yourself enough to give yourself good health, because at the age of 52, I'm young. I'm young. Watch your mouth, sucker. I'm young in a larger scheme of things. And as Donovan said, unfortunately, a lot of us are leaving here far before our time. Donovan will tell you he's got a couple of friends who checked out of here not too long ago, and they're his age. And I would say a testament to my friend here. Donovan is 99 years old, but a lot of people be like, there's no way you're 53 years old. There's no way. Because Donovan, too, takes care of himself. He exercises, and Donovan will cut a sucker off quick.
I just had a salad before I came on the show.
Yeah, right. So, it's important not to let people rob you of your good health. And I'm a witness, because I never thought that I would see my blood pressure like that. And the doctor was like, it's perfect. I was like, yay. So I've been through a lot, I would say, in the last couple of years. Just kind of looking back on it, as I always tell y'all, it was horrible, and not just one thing, but there's a few things. But I would do it all over again if it brings me back to myself. Because when we lose ourself, you've got nothing left. You're just a shell of a person walking around pretending that everything's okay and all that. But when you get back to yourself and you regain knowledge of self, everything is easy. Everything else from that point is easy. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will see y'all on Sunday. There's nothing going on Sunday, right? Sunday we'll be back. And then from that point, we'll see. So thank y'all for joining us here on With Love, Demetra Kaye. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you guys on Sunday. Hey, Leon, how you doing? Absolutely. Creating a healthy vision and wholesome environment will be enchanting for romance to happen naturally. Yep. You said a word right there.
Wait, so I won't need any of that Cialis or the blue pills?
Right. Listen, okay? Stop letting people stress you out. And you won't need that little blue bottle. You might get 3 minutes instead of the 2 minutes. Because fellas, don't no woman she can't do nothing with 2 minutes, okay? It take her 2 minutes to even know if she want to do that with you. And by that time, it's like, what? We're done? I could have had a V8, sucker. Anyway, we out of here. Peace.